question, we have to use the sine rule to figure out what d is equal to. Now, this is a non-right angle triangle, right? And sine rule is applied to non-right angle triangles. Seeing that we know this angle, and if we draw a straight line across, we know this side, right? We have an angle, and we go straight across, we have this side. We have another angle here, we go straight across, we know this side that we need to find. Sine rule, we can apply sine rule. The general form for sine rule is A over sine A degrees is equal to B over sine B degrees, and that is equal to C over sine C degrees. It doesn't mean that you're using all of them, you're using 2 out of the 3. All right, so let's set up this question here. If this is capital E, well, this common E here, capital B, across here is common B, capital C, across here is common C, right? Based on this question, let's see what we're doing. So if I draw a line from here to across here, right, I have A over sine A. And here to across here, I have B over sine B, right? So I'm going to write A over sine A degrees is equal to B over sine B degrees, right? That's how I got this here. Remember, we're not using 3 of them, we're just using 2 out of 3. Now I'm going to substitute. A is equal to 20, right? Common A is equal to 20. Capital A is equal to 60 degrees, right? That is equal to, common B is equal to D, and capital B is equal to 80. Right, so we have that there. Now we need to transpose. We need to figure out what D is equal to still. We need to transpose and get D equal to something. In order to do that, we need to get rid of the denominators. What does that mean? It simply means if I need to get rid of sine 60 degrees, I will say sine 60 degrees multiply, and you're multiplying both sides by sine 60 degrees. If I do that, this will cancel out with that, and I will have sine 60 degrees remaining here. If I need to get rid of sine 80 degrees, I multiply this side by sine 80 degrees, and I do the same thing across here, sine 80 degrees. This will cancel out to this, and I remain with sine 80 degrees across here. So let's do that. So write down your numerators, right? Writing numerator, I leave a little space. In order to get rid of sine 60, I multiply this side by sine 60 degrees. It will cancel out here, and I need to multiply the other side by sine 60 degrees. I need to get rid of sine 80. I multiply this side by sine 80 degrees. It will cancel out. And on this side, we multiply by sine 80 degrees. We aren't finished yet. We need to get D alone. We have D times sine 60 degrees. So to transpose, we simply divide both sides by sine 60 degrees. That would mean these two things will cancel out. This will cancel out with that. And you will have D alone on this side. So let's deal with that now. So if I divide this side by sine 60, it will cancel out. D would remain. And I have 20 times sine 80 degrees divided by sine 60 degrees. You input this in your calculator. Right, so I'm going to put in, make sure I calculate it on degrees, else you will be in problems. 20 times sine 80 divided by sine 60, right? You will get 22.74 meters, right? 22.74 meters. So the answer for the first one, D is equal to 22.74 meters. In this question, they didn't tell you, they didn't give you a restriction, like 1 decimal place, whole number, right? So I put it to 2 decimal places, right? These are approximately equal to 22.74 meters, right, to 2 dp. Let's look at this question here. All right, let's look at this question. Similar, all right, similar to the one before. All right, this question here, we know two sides, right? We know two sides, and we have one unknown angle, one known angle. So we can see, hey, okay, we could kind of use sine rule. Now, what I do, if you draw a line across here, right, you know this angle, you know this side, right? From the angle, you need to find out this angle, you know this side. So once you have one known, right? So with this side and this, from this angle to this side, we know the side and we know the angle. Very good. So we need to know two sides. Well, meaning we know the angle and we know the side, and we need to have one unknown. So just one unknown here, one known here. So we can use sine rule. So same format, putting on the general formula first. E over sine E is equal to B over sine B is equal to C over sine C degrees, right? This just simply means the triangle had the sides ABC, all right? This triangle has the side EFG. So let's try and deal with that. If this is capital G, across here is common G, capital F, common F across here, capital E, common E, right? So we deal with this side. Make it look a little better than that. And we deal with this side here. So I have whether or not you want to put E over sine E, and then you put G over sine G. It doesn't matter if you, whichever one you put first, it doesn't matter. The question will still work out. So if we put E over sine E is equal to G, right, over sine G, right? The length of the side is always the numerator, and the angle is to the bottom, right? Sine of the angle, not sine of the length, all right? So then we have G over sine G. Now we're going to substitute. E is equal to 5. So we have 5 divided by sine m degrees, and that is equal to G is 12. 12 divided by sine 75. 12 divided by sine 75 degrees. Now, we have to get rid of the denominators. So if I need to get rid of this denominator here, I multiply both sides by sine m degrees. If I need to get rid of this denominator here, I need to multiply both sides by sine 75 degrees, right? So let me write down my numerators first and leave a little space here. So to get rid of this sine m degrees, if I multiply here by sine m, it will cancel out. And I have to multiply across here, sine m degrees. I need to get rid of this. Getting rid of means making it 1. If I multiply this side by sine 75 degrees, it will cancel out. I need to multiply this side by sine 75 degrees, right? Now we continuing. If I divide both sides by 12, right, this will cancel out and I'll remain with sine m alone. So that's what I'm going to do. So I dividing this side by 12, the 12 will cancel out. So I have sine m degrees is equal to 5 sine 75 degrees divided by 12. 5 sine 75 degrees is equal to 5 times sine 75 degrees, all right? It's the same thing. Now, I want to get m degrees, all right? I want to get m degrees. So m degrees, all right, and slanted, is equal to sine inverse 5 sine 75 degrees divided by 12, close brackets. Let me write that brackets a little better than that, close brackets. That's what m degrees is equal to. Put that in a calculator, right? So you have to press second function sine to get sine inverse. 5 multiplied by sine 75 divided by 12. So on my calculator, I have 23.73 degrees, all right? Now, once I usually put my answers to 2 decimal places, but I have to go back and make sure that the question didn't give me a stipulation. Sometimes the question states whole number, nearest degree, right? So in this question, they didn't give any stipulation. So my answer here is m is equal to 23.73 degrees, right? So that's it for the sine rule.